Oh my gosh, I can't handle you anymore.
Here I am.
So absurd.
I've
I
got a
love
good
it.
idea. I've got a good idea. This should be
Yeah?
our first merch. We should stand. This should be merch. How to get a good table or reservation at Las Vegas restaurant. Just walk in wearing your very own John Curtis mask.
People might get kicked out, you don't think?
I know, or chefs spitting in their food, one or the other.
Oh my
All
gosh.
right,
Yeah,
so
we'll add it.
Here, I'll retire this boy just for a little while.
All right, perfect.
Okay.
We are Eat Talk Repeat. It's another episode, and who are you, John?
Today I'm John Curtis. Call me the persnickety epicure today.
The
Because
persnickety
I'm not so
epicure.
grumpy, but I have many a bone to pick with other food writers in town today. More persnickety than grumpy.
All right, I like it. And I'm Ash Watkins, the hamburguesa principesa of Las Vegas, and we make up your Eat Talk Repeat duo of unpaid food critics here in Las Vegas and world traveler over there, John. But
Getting
together
ready
you
to
can
go to.
yeah.
Go ahead.
What?
Sorry. I interrupted you.
No, okay. Well, you can find us at Eat Talk Repeat everywhere. Like, follow, subscribe, comment on any episodes. You have feedback. And then reminder, head to eattalkrepeat.com for updates and subscribe to the newsletter. John, what is it called?
It's called the Amuse-Bouche
There you
of
go.
Eat Talk Repeat.
And it drops weekly every Wednesday morning, bright and early. And you can email us hate mail, questions, fan mail, all of the above. And we will forward the hate mail to Sam still. But
Yeah,
yes,
and-
cheers at eattalkrepeat.com.
And we're the Amuse-Bouche drops, like you say, on Wednesday, and we want to hear from you. And we're grown up folks. We can take all the criticism, everything you like and hate about us. Go right ahead.
Whoa. I do not subject myself to that kind of criticism. Send it to John.
Yeah,
I will
Well,
ignore immediate junk drawer for any hate mail to me.
Well, whether you want to vent your spleen or not, the Amuse-Bouche weekly newsletter is full of food news you can use. So that'll keep you up to date on what's going on in the local Las Vegas restaurant scene. We then talk about it every week here. And then we talk about restaurants we've been to. When we get into Titanic, arm wrestling contests over who's right or who's wrong about various restaurants and things. But that's half the fun.
Yeah, and last week's episode was feisty. It was about the James Beard Awards and all of the controversy and a debate around that. And then our buddy Vital Vegas at casino.org, he wrote an article and included yours truly's in there, right?
Yeah. He misnamed this. I gave him a heads up at one point. I don't know if he's corrected it, but it's Eat Talk Repeat, not Eat Drink Repeat. I think maybe he was it was a Freudian slip on Scott's part, but it also applies to us. We do a lot of eating and drinking and talking, but yes, the name of this show is Eat Talk Repeat. But that was I really liked Scott's overview of the little kerfuffle or the brouhaha, as he called it, over what I considered an unworthy chef getting a Best Chef award from the James Beard. And if you want, go to casino.org, and I think he lays out our arguments and the contra arguments as well. And I thought I gave a very nice perspective on the whole thing. Yeah,
I liked it. So check that out. And then later in the episode, we're going to get to some restaurant reviews. We have Petite Bohème, the In Limbo pop-up that seems to happen every Monday and Tuesday over there. Sartiano's at the Wynn, and Papa Noodle, which I've never heard of. So
it's a true
easy
Chinatown hole in the wall.
Okay, I was like, don't spoil it, because I'm going to learn with everyone else about Papa Noodle.
Yes.
And now the meat of the episode, John. The food news
you can
use.
Food news that I can abuse.
That too. Shout out to Bar Boheme. We mentioned it on the podcast a few weeks ago. They were doing their first pastry and bakery pop-up. I think it's going to be every third Saturday of the month. And their first one was this past Saturday, and they essentially sold out of everything within the first hour. So, and I don't think they only made 3 croissants.
Yeah, they had giant trays of stuff coming out, and my friends we were all gonna go, and we were running a tad late. Our friends, our Saturday morning coffee clatch, got there at 10 a.m. and everything was gone. So
Wow.
yeah, so good for them. And everybody says it's spectacular. You just have to get up at the crack of dawn. I think it starts at 9. It starts at 9. So by 9:30, everything was sold out. Yeah.
Oof, and there was a line, so get there early. Okay, what's up? The RJ, John, I'm sure you were just as excited as I was to see the RJ Las Vegas's famous review journal dropped its top 100 restaurants of 2026 list. Did you go through it?
With a fine tooth comb.
Oh, okay. I'm excited.
And I have thoughts.
Oh,
Yes,
well,
I have some thoughts. And I looked at your thoughts that you have in our show notes here. And,
mhm.
and remarkably, we've barely talked about this. And a lot of our thoughts are the same thoughts.
Oh, look
Yeah.
at that. Yeah, I only tipped you off that I wanted to know your Hall of Fame list.
Mm.
So, but yeah, so I reviewed it. Look, give the RJ credit. They're trying. The list is definitely improved year over year. It's gotten better. It's still a little, it has. I went back and checked.
All
John,
right.
I went back to, they did it 2024 and 2025, and it's definitely progressing in the right way, but there's still a lot of room for it to go and get
Well,
better. And because,
there's also room for it to stop being so stupid.
yeah.
I mean, where do you want to start here? Okay. I mean, go finish your intro because, I mean, they've got like 7 bars on it. Okay. Bars.
Yeah, you could do
Cocktail,
a whole
wine.
list.
I mean, including favorite places that are great. My favorite, like Vesta and
Mhm.
Nocturno and Garage East, places that I have loved for years, have been tooting the horn of, for at least 5 years, but they list them as in the top 100 restaurants. How dumb is that?
Great point.
Defend it, Hamburguesa Principesa.
I can't, and I was starting to get annoyed, but look, Nocturno, they at least make bites and great bites, apparently. And
Not a restaurant.
I know, but I agree. Garage East, not a restaurant. They do a charcuterie platter. There was some
Just
other
to
places.
serve some food. You can eat a breakfast and a lunch there. I'll give it's kind of a restaurant, but it's really a coffee shop that serves food.
Right.
And Pachi, which is, I haven't been yet. I've heard it's fantastic, but it's also a bar that serves some food.
Mm-hmm.
And Reraw Irish is a middling Irish pub that serves Irish food. Bad renditions of Irish food, and nothing but for the last 20 some years. I mean, I was reading this going, and I got white whale. What is a white whale besides Moby Dick? Have you been there?
Well, it's no. It's the cocktail bar on, I think, Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. And that's when I hit White Whale, I go, look, the RJ really needed to make a separate list for bars and cocktails. That's what they needed to do because there are so many other ones. If you're putting White Whale on there, when I saw it, I go, well, now you've just opened Pandora's box to why not the Doberman? Why not
Viking Mike's?
Why not Viking Mike's? Why not Bar Ginza? Why not all of Liquid Diet? And so
Right.
I think the RJ really needed to do a little bit better on that. Like, let's get make this a restaurant list.
Yeah. And then what got me is it was like these, I counted them. I think there was 1, 2, I think there were 7 of them there that really, to me, didn't even qualify as restaurants. And if they're using those 7 as filler to fill out their top 100, that's what got me, because you could just go up and down Spring Mountain Road or even on the Las Vegas Strip and find 7 worthy restaurants, real restaurants, to put in the top 100 restaurants of Las Vegas. You don't need to plug in, cocktail bars that happen to serve small bites as restaurants when they barely qualify as that. So that's got my goat, my ire, my dander up right off the bat. But I have other objections.
What are those?
That was the low hanging cocktail fruit right there. Okay,
the garnish. That was the maraschino cherry.
This was the yeah. I mean, oh my God. Well, as you did, I basically made my list of no, hell no, and maybe. Okay. And let's go through the hell no's right away.
Let's do it.
And as a caveat, as I begin this, I've never met Jonathan Wright, but I do respect his work. We are friends on Facebook. I have invited him formally to be on this podcast, but his corporate masters will not allow it.
But I still have a lot. Pixelate him so he doesn't.
I've offered to do that with a couple of wine reps too. We'll put a black hood over them, and change their voice, but they don't want to do it. So, but I respect that. I mean, that he's working for a big company. He has to abide by their rules. And I think he's trying to do good work. And generally, I think his palate strikes me as one that is worthy of paying attention to, not like your average influencer, which is just doing it for their own ego. But the hell no's made me wonder whether it was just, he was suffering from gueule de bois, which is a wooden mouth, as the French say, or whether he was doing this as just a salve to the strip or PR people, or again, serving his corporate masters who themselves are serving corporate masters. But these were the hell no's. And Hearthstone, which is terrible, the reboot of Hearthstone. I mean, I think he just threw that in there. I cannot believe he's been to the new one and said it's just as the old one wasn't that great. The new one is awful. Le Cirque hasn't been worth going to in 5 years, and it's criminally expensive, and nobody goes there, and it's closing in August. So why even put it in the mix? That's a hell no. And again, we're talking about what was my favorite restaurant in town for 20 years, Le Cirque. So, I mean, it's not like I'm just bagging it. Makers and Finders.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get serious. Come on. I mean, it's barely a Latin brunch place, and I have tried to like it multiple times over the years and walked away with half my food still on the plate. Mubongiri Sundai. Now, there's an obscure one for you. Now we're going to get a little picayune, a little granular here, because I really like Mubongiri Sundai. It is a very, very Korean restaurant. I think it's on Decatur near Spring Mountain Road. It is extremely faithful to the argot of Korean food, and it is and it's wonderful. But it's so not a mainstream restaurant. You have got to go with either your own favorite Korean friends, which we have multiples of, or know a lot about Korean food, or you will be lost and just scratching your head. So that one was a hell no, not because it wasn't a worthy restaurant, just because it seemed so out of place in a top 100 restaurant. It's a very good Korean restaurant, but it's almost too authentic to make a top 100 list, in this sort. So maybe that's just me being picky and persnickety. But then we get to the real offending ones. Morimoto, Wakuda, Nobu, Pinky's, Slater's 50/50. I mean, the first really Morimoto, an aging, tired celebrity chef restaurant in the MGM. Wakuda, again, massively overpriced, hardly, it's just a soak the conventionaire restaurant with overpriced sushi and sashimi. Nobu, I mean, Nobu's like, what is one of 50 Nobus in the world? Hasn't been worth going to.
One of 5 in this town.
One of 5 in this town, exactly. And now it's top 100. Why? Pinky's, Vanderpump. Are you kidding me? I mean, just for the Bachelorette set. I mean, Jonathan, I thought you were better than that. I mean, don't be giving free publicity to frickin' Vanderpump restaurants. Giada. Oh, come on. I mean, Giada.
They're now doing room service over at the Vanderpump Hotel.
I'm sure they're doing everything they can to trade on her name. But I mean, there's at least a dozen. I would put places like the Italian American Club. You want to go just Italian food? You go with authentic. Go with Panavino. Italian American Club, places like that, that have, a history in this town. They may not be great, but they stand for something. I mean, Giada doesn't stand for anything but trading, cashing in with the Vegas, her name in Las Vegas. Then a couple of minor ones, Slater's 50/50, which I've never understood the popularity of this place. I mean, the burgers taste frozen. It
It's a
always comes up.
chain
It's a
out
chain.
of Southern California, I
It's a
think.
chain of mid burgers. It doesn't
Yeah.
deserve anybody's top 100, not top 5, not top 500. And then Ramen Boys, which a couple of my friends like, but there are so much better ramen places in this town. Manta Ramen, Ramen Sora, Hashi Ramen. The somehow I went to Ramen Boys once. It was filthy and generally at best mid, and it looked like a dirty place. It didn't taste. I mean, so I don't know what the love for Ramen Boys is there. And I usually don't like to pick on places like that, but I looked in the corners on this place, and I was sorry I did. So those are the hell no's right there. So give me some of your no's or hell no's, because that's, I think, 1, 2, like that. That's a dozen right there.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't do hell no, maybe no. I just did questionable. Like, why are you here? Abel Baker.
Yeah.
They use like a ghost kitchen,
Right.
and the food is just bar food. Then it was Aqua Bar and Lounge, which is the weird caviar bar in the Resorts World.
Which no, I mean, it's like the only people that go there are people in the Resorts World who stumble into it. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a glorified lobby bar.
Yeah.
Boa.
Bahamar. Old Manny's is better. We both,
Yeah, I like Old Manny's more, but I was like, yeah, Bahamar. I was like, okay, fine. If you're trying to throw people off the beaten path but where are you sending them? On Las Vegas Boulevard, where you have to ring a doorbell to get in because it's so sketchy? Maybe not.
Yeah.
But okay, they had Boa.
Oh, don't get me started on the steakhouses.
Oh, Bourbon Steak?
2 corporate chain steakhouses. They don't have Bazaar Meat or Cut in there, but he has Boa and Bourbon Steak. I mean,
no Peter Luger.
Nor Peter Luger. Or Harlow. I know
or Joe's. Or Coat.
Coat or Joe Stone Crab. I mean, we'll talk about a top restaurant that's been at the top for a long time. Joe's Prime Steaks and Seafood is right there. I mean, it belongs on the list right away. And then instead, those 2 places, what did they do? I mean, I don't know what the background is there. Again, whether there's PR service, PR filleting being done, excuse me, Mom, or what. But it sounds that had all the earmarks of somebody on their knees to somebody else. All right.
It has to be, because I don't think anywhere in Caesars was recognized. And you've got Joe's and Peter Luger right there that are
right. Which are both
absolutely worth it.
Both spectacular. And if you're going to go to chain steakhouse, go to Peter Luger's. Okay, keep going. I'm interested in your list here.
Honey Salt.
Yeah, don't get me started.
They had Michael's Gourmet Room on it, and not as a Hall of Fame entry.
But okay, I'll argue with you this. Our friend Matt Brooks, if he's out there in Washington, D.C., I would give them Michael's. I will give them before. It does have iconic status, both as a Hall of Famer and as a everyday restaurant that's still going strong after like 40 years. So I'll argue with that. But so that was one I would just say I'll give that one to him. There's enough things to be pissed off about that I wasn't pissed off about Michael's.
There's Morning News.
Yeah.
I was like, go to Winnie and Ethel's.
Yeah. Winnie and Ethel. Morning News, which is just, yeah. I tried to like that place twice.
Yeah, I had Nobu. I had Piero's, but that's I think that was a.
Yeah. There's a couple things. Yeah, you had Hearthstone. Grinds to the Max. This is apparently a Hawaiian place. Haven't been to that was on my maybe list. I had a whole list of maybes, and I'm just gonna like Grinds to the Max. Golden Boy Deli haven't been to yet. I've heard it's good. Mizumi is should be in the hell no category because it's been there forever, and I'm not. But then I haven't been to Nudo's. I don't know why he included Yukon Pizza. You can't even sit down. It's just a takeout pizza place.
It's not a restaurant.
Yeah, you can just stand up. You can eat a slice while you're standing at a counter. I think there's 1, 2 tops sitting there. Yeah, Mercado della Pesceria. I mean, There was just too many here. But when I added them all up, I had like 35 of the 100 restaurants are just highly questionable. And then I looked at your list. And I think we both agreed that you look at the places that weren't mentioned that again stand for something, that are very, very special places. Unlike I'm sorry, Morning News
Nobu.
or Nobu or Morimoto. I mean, Hashi Ramen, Corey's, Kame Sanga, Raku, Carver Steak, Panavino, 8-ounce Korean, which is really the until Coach showed up, it was the best Korean steakhouse in town, and it's still spectacular. On the sushi front, you have Endo, Kabuto, Yui Sushi. These are spectacular places. You have Osteria Fiorello, which is a spectacular Italian place way out at Red Rock Casino. You have Stubborn Seed, Peter Luger, Brezza. I mean, there was no need for, let's say, at least 24 absolute unworthy or filler entries here, unless just there are PR debts being paid.
Yeah, and I think that's where, the big J gets in the way of a real good list.
Right.
You don't know what politics are being played behind the scenes on who's buying ad dollars, which properties are doing what with the RJ. And that's why, looking at it from our perspective, we have so many others that we would be putting on this list just, you know, without concern about what property they're with, where they were, who they are, where they're going, et cetera, because we just think they've got great food.
Yeah, we're not looking at geographical diversity. I mean,
Mhm.
to some extent we try, of course. When I was doing my weekly radio thing, back in the 90s and the early aughts, I mean, I was really trying to, I got to get out to Green Valley. Oh, I've got to get on the West Side. I need to do something. I haven't done a Chinese noodle place in a while. I mean, this was what you do when you're doing it on a weekly basis. But when you have time to actually curate a list of 100 places, or in my case, 52 of them, shameless plug alert, eating Las Vegas, the 52 essential restaurants, now 5 years out of date, but there's still a lot of good things in it. Yeah, I mean, you when you have time to curate, there should be no fluff and bullshit in there. I mean, I could, disagree about the merits of a place, but there's at least 24 places on this list that just don't belong there at all. And it was and I think it detracts from the good places that are there, because he does mention, I mean, I don't have the list in front of me, but he has Kaiseki Yuzu in there, and he
Casa
has,
de Raku was on
and
there.
yeah, Casa de Raku, and he has, Lotus of Siam and Esther's Kitchen and Mayday.
Manzu?
What?
Manzu?
Manzu. So he has 50 plus really worthy places that you and I can agree on right up the drop without even look. We go, good. I was scrolling through, but then I would hit these discordant notes and go, it was like you're listening to a symphony and somebody just drops a garbage can lid, in the middle of Beethoven. And it's like, what? What? White whale, honey salt? No. Morimoto. I mean, give me a break. So
Yeah.
anyway, and I like, Jonathan Wright, I think, does a nice job. I don't know what all the politics were here. I question whether, unlike yours truly, when I was doing this, whether he's really eaten in all of these places. And I mean, that's one of the things I was doing for 15 years, eating in 300 places a year just to get it down to 52 big ones and maybe 100 smaller ones. But it's hard to do. That's right. And I mean, I don't think they pay him enough, and he has to stay on top of this stuff, but he's not getting any kind of budget I don't think they're paying him anything close to what he would need to have enough coin on his own to go to these places. And I'm almost dead certain they have no expense budget anymore, like they did with Heidi and Nat Brunella like a dozen years ago. So that's kind of sad. So a lot of this has to just be cribbed from the internet and websites and people like us. And I think what Scott Robin said on casino.org was also kind of telling when he said it is kind of shameful that in a town as food crazy and as dynamic now in both on the local food scene. I mean, we've got our this podcast, and we have Al Mancini and Gemini's podcast, and that's it. And discount all the influencers are all full of shit. So none of them count. Sorry, Phil, and Mister that stupid burger guy, that profane guy who I have. What's his name?
Unlocked, Drew.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, but they're just doing it for themselves, but it is kind of shameful. Like Scott Robin said, that we're such a big town, and we just the amount of actual passionate people doing something in a dispassionate way and trying to be a little bit objective and give good information is so scarce.
It is. And just kind of to round out some more of the places I wish I saw on this list from the RJ. I mean, we mentioned Cote, Joe's, Mateo's. I would have liked to see.
Mateo's. Exactly.
I'm not even asking for Cipriani. I'm just like, I'm not even asking for that. Give me a Mateo's. Give me a Brezza Partage.
Giada over Mateo's?
Yeah.
Never. Go
now
ahead.
With a gun to my head.
Yeah.
Partage, Peter Luger, Shang Artisan Noodle.
Partage was on the list.
Partage it was?
It was there.
Okay. Shang Artisan Noodle. Exactly. Stubborn Seed.
But yeah, Stubborn Seed, to me, I mean, it made a splash, and that's a unique restaurant. And Brezza was not there. And there's a couple places. I haven't been out to Nudo yet. I've heard good things about NUDO that's way out there in Southern Highlands. I went to Rang's. It's a local restaurant owned by a nice local family. I wasn't crazy impressed, but that's one of those ones. I'll give him that. Yeah, sure. He's trying to give some support to local restaurants. I like it, but there were just too many false notes hit here for me to take the list that seriously. So kudos to the worthy places that got it, and the unworthy places you'll just have to sift through for yourselves after you've listened to our erudite podcast. Right?
Okay. And one last thing on this. So they did include their Hall of Fame, which was 10 restaurants whose enduring excellence makes them true icons and enshrines a new member, a flagship among independent places. And the list, I checked, this is the second year they did it, and it's pretty much unchanged from last year. It's E by Jose Andres, Esther's Kitchen, which replaced Lotus of Siam from 2025.
Well, how do you replace a Hall of Fame? Isn't Hall of Fame by definition just you're in it?
So they
put Willie Mays in.
But I know, but so what I'm saying is E by Jose Andres was in 2025 and 2026. Lotus of Siam was in 2025, and then in 2026, Lotus did not get it, and instead they gave Esther's Kitchen the nod. Okay. And then the rest of these were all in 2025 and 2026, and it was Ferraro's, Golden Steer, Joel Robuchon, Le Cirque, Nobu, Piero's, Guy Savoy, and Spago.
Yeah, well, Spago is not really the Spago that made Spago famous now. It's just an MGM restaurant run, it's not the same Spago that for 25 years was in the Forum shops. But I'll give him that. And Piero's, of course, is so long-lasting. Nobu doesn't. No, when Nobu opened here, I think it was the 18th Nobu in the world. Okay, now it's like the 50th. Okay, it's just Nobu. There was nothing iconic about Nobu or special about it. It was just a copy of a copy. My Hall of Fame would be pretty much similar, but and this is, I did this, I wrote for 20 plus years for Desert Companion. So we have a set Hall of Fame, and they add to it every year. I haven't written for them the last year, but so we've just we nominate restaurants or chefs that made a big splash in Vegas and deserved eternal recognition, not just yearly. And some of these are already on the Desert Companion magazine Hall of Fame. Emerald's deserves to be there because it was so groundbreaking. The original Spago, Ferraro's, of course, Golden Steer. You have to give props to that. Piero's, have to give. I mean, not my favorite, but it again, it endures and it's wildly popular and it's such a throwback. The original Lotus of Siam, now on Flamingo, and the new old one on Commercial Center, I think both are going to deserve it. Michael's, again, not my favorite place, but a tip of the fedora to it. Peppermill, Delmonico, because I think it was the first great national steakhouse to come here and make such a splash, and it is still excellent. Raku, because it single-handedly took Chinatown to the next level. Settebello, because it was our first wood-fired pizza place 20 years ago. China Mama, and a place I hate, fine, last and least, place I hate, but I still think it deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, Batista's Hole in the Wall. I think the food's terrible, but give props where props are due.
Wow, look at you.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think it's a solid list.
I'll give you one more, just because you know me, I love to talk. I really do think Sammy needs a little bell that goes, or an air horn to blow in my ear when I'm going out to one. So here's a few. Here's my Hall of. You got me thinking. What's my deceased Hall of Fame? Restaurants that are no longer around, but deserve to be recognized. You know, in somewhat for eternity for what they stood for in Las Vegas. I'd say Andres for number one. Pamplemousse. The Rosewood Grill with the giant lobsters. People remember that. I should have brought my picture in. They have a picture of me holding up a 10-pound lobster. It was something taken in like 1997. I had dark hair then. I was tall. I was thin. I was getting more action than Frank Sinatra. It was something. But I digress. The Venetian, the original Venetian, where Herbs and Rye is now. People remember that. It's like the best family-run Italian restaurant for years, right there on West Sahara. Alpine Village Inn, the original Picasso in the Bellagio, I think, was every bit as important to Las Vegas as Le Cirque was. Le Cirque I'd put there too, the original one. Carne Vino. And I would put Twist by Pierre Cagnier there.
Oh, okay. I saw your list and I was like, wait a second.
I think those are restaurants gone but not forgotten because they really had an impact on Las Vegas and really set a stand. They either endured and were good for a very long time, or they stood for something, local ownership, local pride, whatever, or they were game changing, like Twist and Carne Vino and Picasso and Le Cirque.
So what about Dome of the Sea?
The dunes, yeah. Well, I could go back to the Palace Court. I mean, I started thinking about this last night and my brain went crazy, but and sometimes my encyclopedic knowledge of Las Vegas restaurant history can keep me up till 2 a.m. But yeah, that's just a start. I'm sure other people will write us and tell us, you forgot this place. And I'll go,
always.
You're correct. I did.
All right, well, let's take a break, come back, do some restaurant reviews and pet peeves. John, you got a pet peeve for this week?
I think I don't.
Come on, you'll find one in the break. I know you can do it. I've got faith in you. Right. So we're going to take a break. We'll be back, and John will have a pet peeve. I know it.
Welcome to Sam & Ash, the new standard for personal injury law, because you deserve a team that delivers real support and results. When you have both, your whole world can change. Sam & Ash Injury Law, because you deserve what's right.
This is Kimo from Public Us, and you're listening to Eat, Talk, Repeat.
Pop music. Pop music. There he is.
Look at all my alter egos here. I've got my my signage and my little guy, and
so much ego.
Yeah, the room isn't big enough. No, it isn't. Okay.
All right, let's get into it. I've not been anywhere except Sartiano's with you and the crew.
Did you see what I put on Instagram?
No.
John Curtis, my name, JOHNCURTS on Instagram. I said I had enough of the appetizers to want to go back there, but I was 7 glasses of wine in by the time I started eating the appetizers. So you got to take everything I'm saying with a giant dash of sodium chloride. Okay.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So tell me about your reviews.
Well, okay, real quick. Sartiano's, we have these long ass lunches on Friday. They start at noon and they end like at 8:00 at night. Sometimes it's just it's what I'm famous for, actually. But Sartiano's, our buddy Greg, we had a big crowd and we said, let's just go. We went to the cigar smoking place, Zero Bond, a club that is so nice they won't let me in unless I sneak in. But I like Zero Bond, especially my friends are paying for it. And then we said, let's just try something to eat, because I think we'd had a lot to drink at that point. So we had, if you remember what we had
Meatballs.
We had meatballs, good. We had some really interesting fried calamari, very light, almost tempura fried, with like a lightly tempura fried lemon, really thin lemon circles, which were great. I recalled a tuna tartare vaguely, and I really liked the baked clams. I thought they had just the right amount of that oreganata and garlic in them. They were a wonderful version of baked clams. And some dessert showed up. And at that point, we were having our third bottle of champagne. And I remember going, "This is great." And and I think I was asleep in the car on the way home. The food got
No way.
Yeah, that was kind of, we had a lot to drink on last Friday. Don't you recall?
Oh yes,
A lot of
but
grape. That's what the young guys say now. You can have some grape. That's the new slang, the internet slang for I enjoy a little wine here and there. He's enjoying his grape.
Oh, that was from the guy at the U.S. Open, Wyndham Clark. He was like,
Yeah,
"I'm going to have a lot of
apparently, yes, I'm
grape
gonna have a
after."
grape, it sounds kind of weird, but no weirder than what's that word? Chuggy. Chuggy. Remember Chuggy?
Yeah. Like
No
gross,
cap.
weird.
Yeah. Okay. So that I like this. I like Sartiano's a lot. Didn't have a steak. Everybody asked me did I have a steak, but it's gussied up Italian food, more expensive than usual. You can tell they're using really good groceries, and the chefs are trying to make it chefy, but not in an off-putting way. I mean, they're not doing the overblown carbone thing, and they're not trying to go modernist cuisine with anything. They're just trying to do Italian standards, but dress them up just enough to justify the price tag. And I don't say that in a derisive way. I just mean, so, and I thought everything kind of hit that I was tasting. I went, okay, I see it. I could come back here and really enjoy a meal here, but did not have the steaks. And talked to the manager and the the wine guy. I was the wino. And, I think that it's a tough ticket right now. I think I put it on Twitter whether it was the hardest reservation in town right now.
It might be.
It may not be the hardest, but it's up there with the Golden Steers and the Carbones and whatnot, because they're filling up every night, and it's a beautiful restaurant. So
Yeah, I was going to say I really just the appetizers were great. Nothing kind of stood out one way or another to me. I would go back, but I really liked the build out of the room. They've got this beautiful first main bar area, lounge area where you can sit, and they'll serve you a full dinner in that space. They've got a very tiny, maybe 6-top bar in that space, and then
just couches right and I recall sitting on a couch.
Yeah, and then they've got
Right.
several couch spaces. And so and it's just dark, it's nice, it's really kind of a beautiful room, and then you walk down this long hallway to get to the main dining room, but they do that weird, you've got to stop hostess to hostess thing.
Yeah. Have we uncovered or when this became a thing, and has someone cracked that code? Why it suddenly started? Because I'd never heard of it before, just till the last few years.
Yeah, I don't know, but and the room looked really nice, and also they have outdoor seating. So in the nicer months, you can have that beautiful
Yeah.
Italian food on the patio overlooking the 18th hole of the golf course?
Yeah, it's the 18th with the waterfall right there. If you
Mhm.
with all those high rollers spending $1,000 to play 18 holes of golf. God
Yeah,
bless them.
so that's all I've got. That's all I've got.
You're just little Miss No Fun this week. You're
I
all work and
know.
no play.
I
All right.
know.
Well, I've tried to make up. No, I didn't do that much. Okay, but I did go to a couple other places. I just got to remember what they are now.
Papa Noodle and Petite
And
Bohème.
but Petite Bohème, yeah. I'm looking up. What do they call it? In Limbo.
In Limbo burgers. Yeah.
In Limbo burgers and hot dogs at Petite Bohème on Main Street on Monday and Tuesdays at happy hour. Plus, they do a killer happy hour where the cocktails are $8.
Mhm.
As my buddy said last night, they're serving you a martini for $8. They usually cost like 20. Okay,
Mhm.
I mean it's a deal, and the joint was a jumping on Monday night. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I'm looking around like, these are all filled with millennials that are all I've been reading about is they're not drinking nowadays. There had to be like
millennials, we drink. It's the next gen that doesn't drink.
I'm losing. Yeah. So the Gen Xers are the real boozer. Well, the boomers, Gen Xers, and millennials, but then it's the ones coming up behind you. So the 20-somethings with their, I guess, Gen Zs?
Mm-hmm.
Gen Zs. Okay. Well, anyway, there were a lot of people in their 20s and early 30s there, and they all seemed to be enjoying themselves, which was kind of impressive on a really hot Monday night in Las Vegas. And they all showed up for these smash burgers and hot dogs, and I had something called kimchi pork French smothered fries, and they were really good. I thought they were as good as the hamburger. My buddy, who's sort of a burger maven, he wasn't unimpressed. He just thought that, he's comparing it against Jive Turkey and the Hard Hat Lounge burger and Yukon burger, and he said he just didn't think it was quite in that league. I thought they were really good. Good cheese, great bun. The food gal loved the bun, sesame seed bun, really squishy bun, and really good meat, very loosely packed meat for the smash burger, and not razor thin, a little thicker than the usual for a smash burger. But they got the ratios right, the seasonings were right. I really enjoyed it, and the hot dog was incredibly good. Yeah, I really enjoyed the hot dog. So Petite Bohème, but be careful. Don't go there, folks, because the poor they had one bartender on staff last night, and there must have been 30 people in the bar, and half of them were eating, all of them were drinking, and this poor guy, he just didn't have. I mean, you had Jonah running around. You had, people coming in from the kitchen. I mean, it was. I don't think they were prepared to be as busy as they were.
Maybe that was just like an off. When a whole crowd of people just randomly decides to go out, like after a class or something, and then they just totally crush a business that normally has 4 patrons from 4 to 8. They're like suddenly now they've got 45 all at once, and they're like,
and right in the middle of service, I felt bad for this guy. I mean, we're a 4 top at the bar, 4 of us at the bar, and there's probably another couple, so there's probably another 6 or 7 people at the other end of the bar. So the bar's full, and they have all the couches there. And there's this group of about a dozen ladies that look like nurses or medical workers, and then a scattered couple. So I'm thinking there's 30 people in the bar, maybe more. Right in the middle of it, and you can see he's running around. One of the gals knocks over a cocktail. I'm not sure, but the cocktail and the ice went everywhere.
Did the glass break?
So there was stuff everywhere, and I looked and the bartender's like, he has no help, and now he's trying to make cocktails for like 30 people, get food served, and somebody decides to spill a drink all over the floor, and that's why hospitality is a young person's game. He bore up very well, though. I was impressed. He told them all, I'm going to get there in a minute, because he still had about 15 minutes of cocktail making. He got some drinks into some people's hands and then mopped it up on his own and went back behind the bar. And that's a rough night, so good for him. So anyway, and then I was going to tell you about a little place that it's one of my wife's favorites, and it's called, I can't really see it here. I'm going to hold it up here. It's called Noodle Papa. And it is in the Shanghai Plaza in Chinatown on Spring Mountain Road. And if you are aware of where the Shanghai Taste is, it's a big L shape, that Shanghai Plaza. And as you drive in, you have China Mama on your right. You have Shanghai Taste a little bit farther down on your right. You have Weira Thai right there. And then where the bend in the L goes down, pointing due west, there's this little place called Noodle Papa. It's been there. It's family run. It looks like it seats about 30 people. We've been going there since it opened. So that's got to be, it opened during COVID. So they've been like 5 years now. And they do a Hainanese chicken. And you all know that Hainan chicken rice, as you can see here, which is basically a chicken. Okay. I mean, it's nothing spectacular. It's just poached chicken and then rice that is in the broth. You make the rice in the chicken broth, and you serve it with this garlic ginger relish and hot sauce and some thick soy sauce. And it's just a poach. And they kind of do it for gringos. And in China, they leave all the bones in. Here, they sort of cut it so it's just nice white meat, off the bone. And it's just poached chicken with simple rice. I think it's $18.95. It's a great lunch for one or two. The food gal always likes their curry with roti, those big flat rice flour pancakes. No, I think they're wheat flour. They're not rice flour. And those roti that you dip it in the curry sauce. And it's a great lunch. Noodle Papa gets no buzz, but every time I'm in there, there's always at least 4 or 5 tables are full. They're all fellow travelers, Chinese people or Asians, just eating it up. And it's a great place to get a quick lunch when all the bigger joints like Shanghai Taste and China Mama are overflowing with people. So Noodle Papa, look it up.
I did. It looks yummy.
Yeah, and man, man does not live by fancy French alone. See, I can like a good poached chicken with the rest of them.
All right, John, did you come up with a pet peeve? I can go first.
You go first. I have a small one.
Okay, my pet peeve is a large one, and it is when menus take up a full acre of real estate. When you get a menu and it's huge. And also even the writing is still small. You just have a ton of white space. And you got to hold it like this to kind of read it. And then when people want to know what you're thinking, you got to.
About whom are you referring to?
Oh, there's a ton of them.
Whom are you referring here?
This happened recently at Lotus.
Yeah, Lotus is a big menu. Yes, it is.
It's a tall one. And so we were all giant. 6 of us.
It's like 2.5, 3 feet and by 2 feet. It's like that big. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we all had our own menus and we're all shuffling around trying to talk to one another.
Yeah,
and so eventually I think we eliminated all but 2 of them and we're like, we don't all need one of these poster boards. So guys, let's make the menu smaller, make it a book, something, I don't know. 2 sides.
Are you getting to the age where you want the print to be bigger because your eyes are failing? Because that's a boomer complaint.
No, but if you're going to make it this big, give me the bigger print. Then you could say it's so everyone can read it.
Well, and I'm going to, drafting off of yours, I was in a place recently, and I can't remember where it was, but it was a normal size menu. But the print was so vague, it was so pale on the page. I'm looking at it and in good light, I'm handing it to my wife. Can you read this? I mean, it's it wasn't just I had a bad one. That was the way all the menus were printed up. Okay. And I'm just what the heck? It goes back to kind of like the chair thing when you sit in super uncomfortable chairs and did anybody bother just going, hey, this might not be that easy to read. You know what I mean? Hey, this chair might be as uncomfortable as hell. Okay. But it's no, they just grind them out and throw them out there. So I would say that's now those are valid pet peeves. My thing, I think I say it before, said it before, but I notice it all the time. And my wife pointed this out to me just recently. It's the lack of adult supervision in restaurants. I don't know. It's just when I see hapless places with teenagers, I call them teenagers. They're probably all 30 years old, but you just don't get a sense that there's anybody in charge in the place. You can see it in fast food places. I think probably do a better job than full service restaurants here because I think, they have structures stratified. You're the assistant manager. You do this, you do that. You come in, everybody knows their job. The assistant manager says, you've got to get that ice bucket refilled or you need to get this done, blah, blah, blah. But you see these restaurants, these smaller independent restaurants sometimes, and they're letting the inmates run the asylum. And you're just, I'll say, I'll be sitting there and go, I have put this plate and this spoon and this dirty glass over here, and it's just been sitting there now. While they've served new food and it's just sitting there, and the hapless waitron, I almost give them a pass because they're running around doing things. but that's where you need the grown-up in the room. And the grown-up might be 23 years old, but somebody to go, hey, he either tells you get that plate, or in the case of, a really well-run restaurant, a Ferraro's or a place like that, the owner himself is like, you get the food, I'll get this back to the kitchen, blah, blah, what else can I help you with, sir? That sort of thing. But I see that in the absence more and more these days, that it's just, they let there's not a managerial type running the floor to take care of the little things and let the little details. And it's just like, they feel like, well, we've got waiters and we've got cooks and they're getting the food out, and I tell them to clear the tables. And no, you need somebody there who's kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah, I think these independent restaurants are still struggling to get staffed with people that care and have like goals, and they take pride and ownership in what they're doing. And so I think that's one of the things I continuously hear from like neighbors, local business owners, when, I run into them and say, hey, how you doing? It's just like, hiring is tough, but yeah, you got to hire and you got to fire, and you also have to manage and train. It's not easy. Running a business is not easy. It's not for the faint of the heart or the lazy, and it's not cheap. That's for damn sure. And so to those guys doing it right and that are out there constantly being the adult in the room, bravo to you.
I have one more pet peeve.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Yeah, look closely at the camera here.
Get it out. This is a harassment at this point.
Yeah, this is
It's assault.
This is what do they call it, the workplace? This is what they call it in the workplace. The
hostile
work
it's
environment.
A hostile work environment.
What is your deal with this banana croissant at Publicus is incredible. It's a chocolate banana croissant, and it's incredible. And I put it on the internet, and you immediately go, I hate bananas. What's your beef with bananas? Try this. Would you just try this croissant with me one time?
Okay, time out. Generally speaking, I will explain my disdain for bananas. It's a flavor bully. It's very bold. I say it is the bacon of the fruit world. You put it on anything, and that is all I taste. So you put bacon on something, all I'm tasting is the smoky, porky, all of that. You put a banana in it, and now suddenly it'll cut through every other fruit flavor on the dessert, whatever else is in the smoothie. I'm going right through the banana.
All right.
And it's a flavor that generally, not my thing. But when we went to Delmonico,
you had the banana cream pie and loved it.
And it was very good. And I go, look, banana is supposed to be the star. I can enjoy this and respect it. And
yeah, they blunt the banana. The banana is very prominent in that banana cream pie, but they also blunt it by surrounding it with that custard cream and that whipped cream, which sort of mutes the banana. That is not quite as pronounced, and it's just got that silky, smooth kind of custardy pie event in your. This makes my mouth very happy. That Delmonico.
So I will try the Publicus banana croissant.
Okay.
But I would prefer a chocolate croissant. I would prefer a plain one, an almond one.
Well, since Chemo introduced our last segment, one more plug to Publicus, because those guys are killing it there.
I know.
You've got the baked goods. I mean, downtown. And I had one today. I had a Queen Amman, poppy seed Queen Amman today at Vesta. They do their own baking at Vesta too. And let me see if I can just bring this up real quick, because I was so impressed by this. I was like, I can't wait to show. I mean, this is a thing of beauty. I mean, look at this.
Oh, wow.
A poppy seed Queen Amman at Vesta. And between this and Publicus and 1228 and Bar Boheme, I mean, the baking game in downtown Las Vegas is hitting the stratosphere. Okay. It's great.
Yeah. It's, there's enough butter going on in downtown Las Vegas to definitely keep us afloat.
All right. Well, guess what? I think we're coming in under in time this time. How about that?
I think we got it. Sammy, fire away. We're done.